It's another episode of Wearable Today. This week, why do we even bother with these things anymore? I was going to throw them this way, but probably not. So I'll put them back on. Jeffrey Powers here. We have Wearable Today. Goodbye glass. As Google exits out of the glass market, Microsoft enters into the glass market in a strange and weird way. We've got a lot of great news talking about what happened at CES, at all the wearable stuff, Sony stuff, the facial recognition, and how we've got to be a little bit more careful on that. A whole bunch of stuff, and stuff that we stuffed into this stuff, where we're calling stuff that we call Wearable Today. Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers here from Geekazine. I'm a little bit rusty on this because it's been, 4 or 5 weeks since we did a show before. You can find me at Geekazine, Think Magazine, Put in a Geek. And of course, as always, my cohort, my partners in crime, it is the Luke Man and Robin. Or something like that.
Yeah, Birdie. She's a bird. So I'm Luke Wallace. I go by Luke Luca on Twitter. I realize my lower third's not up there, so I'll have to get that put on real quick. I think that this will do it. Boom, there we go. Luke Luca on Twitter, if you're looking. And plus Luke Wallace on Google+.
All right, and we have special guest returning for the next time on the show, Stefan.
Hey, everybody.
That's it? That's all you're going to say?
Okay.
Yep, that's my intro.
I guess everyone knows where you can find him, so there's no reason to say anything. That's Stefan. Yeah, he's there.
I'm done.
She's incorrect. Tell everybody who you are.
Well, I was previously on the show talking about one of my Google Glass apps, and I decided to make a return since we're going to be talking about the end of the Explorer program. I kind of wanted to be kind of a last hurrah to the Explorer program, so...
Last hurrah. You're making it sound like it's dead.
It's not dead, but
no, it should. No, you didn't. We're not. No spoilers. No spoilers on this show. They got to watch the whole show. Got to watch the whole show. I'm telling you right now, the whole show.
Gotcha.
So, all right. Well, let's get into the whole show and nothing but the show. So help us God. It is time, and I know you guys have been waiting all year for this, all 2015. It's time for Big News, Little R. I missed that. Oh, yeah, you can find everything over at Wearable Today, over at www.wearabletoday. Luke?
First up, we've got an announcement that came out during CES. It's a company called Optivent, and they announced a new type of wearable. It's a pair of high-quality headphones with a transparent display that can be folded out of the way when not needed. You can see the picture there on the video. It contains all the standard Android hardware, so it should run most apps without any issue. They say it looks less geeky than other heads-up display devices, but I'd say that's kind of like claiming your pig is the prettiest one at the fair.
Only if there's lipstick on it.
Yeah, throw some lipstick on there and yeah. Oh, mine's the prettiest. Like, yeah. So
okay. Well, there's your video again. Okay.
Yeah.
We're having some small video issues with Luke here, so
yeah.
All right, well, let's move on here. CEX exploded this year. With the graphics and everything like that, exploded this year with a new. Well, they had Eureka Park for the last few years, but the whole Sands and Venetian, just humongous. I mean, it's gonna take like 2 or 3 days in itself to go through everything there. Through the Wearable Tech and continuing, they also had all the health stuff over there, and so I walked around the halls trying to find some cool new wearable tech, but the reality is it's basically the same old wearable tech revamped into the new old wearable tech. Hearable is one of the big words that came out of wearable tech. It was new devices that could take calls or just beep when you're walking around trying to figure out things and you need a message. Siemens I bumped into their hearing aids Of course, we interviewed them last year about the hearing aids that had Bluetooth attached to them, so they could turn up their hearing aids to 11, and then if they got a phone call, they could turn it down to 0 and take the phone call through their hearing aid, which was pretty cool. And they had a second generation on that. And I even saw an exercise ball that had sensors in it that told you if you were sitting wrong or exercising wrong and stuff like that. But the big thing about CES, and I have a link to this article, because out of all the articles, this was probably the closest to the best version of wearable tech articles that I saw out there. But I'm going to tell you something. 2015, when it comes to wearable tech, is going to be the year of the sensor. Where can you put a sensor? Can you put it in your eye? Can you put it in your ear? Can you put it on your chest? Can you put it on your stomach? Can you put it on your butt? Can you put it on your big toe, your little toe, whatever? That's what it's all going to be about. And so that's where we're going to go with that. Plus, wearables that hit the $50 or below range. If it's more than $50, depending on the wearable, of course. But if you can get a $50 and below wearable, you are going to be golden. That's where it's all going to come around. That's what I saw at CES. I did link to this article if you want to check it out over at Tech Republic.
Next up, we've got a small update on the Sony Smartwatch 3. Sony has created a stainless steel watch band for the popular Smartwatch 3. This creates a more elegant look for the sports-themed device. So if you're looking for something a little classier than a rubber watch band and you want something a little better, take a look at this new stainless steel option.
All right. Let's move on. Facial recognition. Now, it can link stores with customers, police with criminals, and me remembering what your name is. But do we really want to be called out every time we walk into a store? I know I would get annoyed if I walked in and somebody just came up to me that I had no idea who they are, and they just said, "Hey, Jeffrey, how you doing?" It's like, I don't like to be called Jeffrey. They say, "Oh, well, okay." But anyway, because I know it's fake. That's the reason why I don't like that. But worse yet, I have similar characteristics than some other people. I could actually get tagged as a criminal walking into a store. And then all of a sudden I've got some Johnny boy just walking behind me because he thinks I'm going to steal something because I got tagged as a criminal. They're doing it. This is the biggest thing, is they're doing it without, I know, Bertie, it sucks. So, and the worst part is I know that they're doing all this without my consent, and I think that's the biggest problem here, and that's what Fast Company really wants to get out of this article. So check it out; it's a great read. It's over on Fast Company. Read it. That's all I have to say on there.
You're skipping.
I didn't skip. No skipping for me. Was this it?
No.
Did I not?
The Augmetics. Augmetics.
All right. Well, why don't you just go?
Okay. So Augmetics wants your doctor to have Google Glass. That's right. A startup that has been around since 2012 recently raised over $16 million to continue their program. The idea with Augmetics is to have patient records at the ready without the doctor looking at a chart or logging into a computer. It also cuts down on the time when the doctor is entering or updating records. There you go.
There it is right there. Are you done with it?
yeah. And just in time. So that article's over on Mashable.
All right, give me a second here. All right. Okay, if you're a fan of Leatherman, that's where this next one comes in. Where am I? There I am. Nope, that's not it. Yeah, now we've completely gone off rail here. So
there it is.
If you are a fan of the Leatherman tool, it's one of the. Actually, I take it with me to CES every single year. Guess what? They now have a Leatherman wearable. It's a band. It can be a band. It can actually be a watch band. It sports screwdrivers. It sports Allen wrenches. It has a bottle opener on it. It is also a strap cutter. It's got a SIM card pick on it. So you know how to get the SIM card out of your smartphone. The band is TSA approved. and compliant and ready for whatever you need. It's going to be available this spring for $150 for the silver, $250 for the BLC version, and then a very, very special version. Don't worry, there's no knives on it, so it's not going to cut off your hand or anything like that. At least that's what I understand. But they're working on it. You can check out some of the videos that they saw. They debuted it last week in Colorado at some other conference. That's the Leatherman, so I know I'm going to take a look at it and possibly get one. So, and that does it for Big News, Little Arms. You love that roar, don't you?
Oh, I've been practicing. This is
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like it.
All right, so as you know, we have Stefan on the show. Stefan, it's really quick. How have you been since the last time that we talked? What have you been up to?
Well, I mean, what have I been up to? I got a new job. I'm working at a web marketing company called Web, but I've also been developing some other apps on the side. I've been working on another app using the API from the Sunlight Foundation, and it's kind of like a government transparency group, and they gather all sorts of data, and they have an API, and you can plug right into that API. And I was building an app with Glass to be able to call up a representative or get directions to their office, that kind of thing. So that was something I was working on.
That's cool. That's cool. So you had your Glass apps. Are you planning to continue on with those Glass apps, or are you just going to you throw them in GitHub and just go from there?
Well, I mean, the first one, Ariadne, that I had worked on last time, I haven't spent as much time on lately, and I've just been busy with a lot of other projects. But I want to get back to it. And you guys had some good ideas last time. Last time I was on, I still would like to do some of that. I noticed, though, that there is an app in the Glass store that kind of does what my app does. So I don't know. I don't know. But some of your ideas maybe could take it further. So
okay. Well, that's cool. I can't wait to see what happens there and how we continue on and go from there. So,
yep.
Luke, where'd your video go? There you are again. How's your few weeks been off? Been treating you?
Been pretty good, right, Birdie? Yeah, yeah. So it's been pretty good. Yeah, she says pretty good. It's been pretty relaxing. I've had some fun on the weekends with the 501st. This is the big Star Wars costuming group that has chapters all over the country and around the world, actually. I've been going out doing a few events with them on the weekend. Got my picture in the Dallas Morning News from the last one, and my video continues to cut out.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Just keep going.
Yeah, so it's been good. I got this gift from the Glass team for 2014. So it was a little mug that said Glass on it with a little package of hot chocolate, which is nice because I don't really drink coffee, but I do drink hot chocolate, so I'll look forward to using that.
Stefan,
sometime.
did you get one of those?
Oh, yeah, I did as well.
You did?
Yeah, and I'm not much of a coffee drinker
What
either.
the heck,
So.
Google? What's this about? I didn't get none. What?
You got to go into the Explorer forums, which I don't know if you got in on that. If you're,
I'm in in on the forums. I just, somebody went and worked at CES. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you might have missed that email in the thousands that you got that week. So
yeah,
it's been fun, and I listened to a bunch of old shows. Kind of got to catch up and get a year in review. It was pretty good. And we actually made a bunch of predictions during the year that ended up coming true. And like even our last show, I listened to that one, and I was like, oh, yep. All this stuff that we were saying pretty much all started to come true. So
yeah,
That's spooky.
yeah.
It's not spooky if you follow what's going on.
Yeah,
That's the reality of things. Is we just simply read the writings on the wall and watched what was going on, and it just put us to that. So, well,
Yeah.
my last 3 weeks has been pretty interesting. It all started off by getting one of these.
Oh, fancy.
So thanks to Luke. Luke actually got me. It's the cardboard.
Yeah, I know.
It's the cardboard. And what was really cool was I went out to CES and I saw somebody actually made a foam version of that, which I have in my pictures. If you go over, and I'm going to show you. If you go over to cesgeek.tumblr.com, that's where I posted all my pictures. That was my last meal in Vegas. But yeah, these are all the pictures of my time here at CES. As you can see, I'm going to get to some tech sooner or later. We were at the Lenovo thing. There's Calvin Lee and Charisse and myself and her husband over by the water, Bellagio. We spent a lot of time up in the Cosmopolitan with Yo and Rackspace, and spent a lot of time with Robert Scoble and talked some wearable tech with those guys over there. It was great. So, and lots of stuff. And I've already given you my thoughts on CES as I flip through some of these pictures here. And that's basically, it's pretty much been done again. That's where it is. Like, for instance, right here, that one of the big things was all these segways, or these faux segways that we saw, and there was like a one wheel and stuff like that. So just a lot of stuff that happened again and again and again. So so I don't know what to, I don't want to exactly know what to say on the wearables where it's going. Besides the fact that it's all about the sensor here. So I'm trying to get down to a couple pictures that would really work. Maybe I should do this and then just look and then show out the pictures when they show up. But it was a lot of fun, as CES always is, and learned a lot. And oh yeah, here we go. It's my ultimate. This is the ultimate wearable technology, and guess what? It's been around since the 70s, I think, maybe the 80s. Can you guys guess what it is?
No, I'm really curious.
I don't know, music player of some sort?
Well, kind of. This is the ultimate wearable technology guy that's been around for years, and it's right here. That's Eddie from Iron Maiden.
Oh. Yeah.
You weren't an Iron Maiden fan?
No, I don't get the reference.
Okay.
I remember the artwork and everything. So
okay. So anyway, so that was basically CES in a nutshell. There's a lot of tech. I did some wearable tech. I got to talk to a lot of people, like the guy from Life 360 or whatever it is. Basically, he takes a bunch of GoPros. He's got this 3D printed device. Takes a bunch of GoPros and then stitches all the video together for a 3D look. And lots of great stuff at CES. But it really was just, hey, we've got this same thing, only it's our version of this same thing. And went from there. So I got some videos. Everything's up on geekazine.com. All the interviews that I did, and went from there. So other than that, one more thing. I got this from my friends over at King Bee, which is a microphone company. Apparently, at some point in time, this thing is going to start spinning. And you just got to leave it set, and then eventually it's going to do this spinny thing. Just start doing this, maybe fly up in the air or something like that. I don't know. That's what they kept saying. So we'll see what happens there. I've got it right next to me on my desk. So other than that, that's been my last 3 weeks in a nutshell. So all right. Well, shall we move on? I know I talked a lot there. Sorry about that.
No, that's good.
So let's get into the next segment, and that is our Apple Watch watch.
Well, the Apple Watch is rumored to be launching in March.
Okay, and
I'm just reading off your notes.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's about the extent of that rumor. I mean, there's not I don't think it said anything more specific than that. But yeah, I guess it's based on what people are saying about, or like what some insiders are saying about the apps that are being developed, or the hardware being ready or something like. They're saying saying March. They're saying March is pretty
All right.
likely.
Well, then let's go to the next question. Are you going to buy it? Stefan?
No.
Luke?
That'd be a no because I have an Android device. So
Yeah, exactly.
if you had an iPhone, I would say I would definitely recommend it for people who have an iPhone, and I would recommend it especially for people that check their phone all the time. If your phone buzzes and you pull the phone out of your pocket and you realize you do that like 50 times a day, 100 times a day, just get an Apple Watch. Like you'll thank me later.
Yeah.
Because you'll just go, you'll just pull your wrist up and look at it and go, huh, oh, okay, cool. And you'll know exactly what happened on your phone without having to pull it out of your pocket.
Although I was sitting next to a guy that had a Moto 360 on, and he kept buzzing, and I kept looking over, and I kept reading every single text message that he got. Because he was just sitting, he had his arms on the table like this, and it would buzz, and I was like, I look over, oh yeah, your wife's calling. Oh yeah, you gotta call the, you gotta talk to the office. Oh, $1 million for that? Oh, that's crazy. Oh, so.
Well, the same thing can happen with your phone. I guess maybe it's easier. I don't know. Maybe it's easier to.
I haven't owned a watch in for like 13 years.
Yeah, exactly. My dad got me a watch for Christmas last year, and it sits on the nightstand as my nightstand watch because I don't wear watches anymore.
Yeah.
So, but I've been thinking about bringing that lost art back in. But Luke, you wear a watch. How long have you been wearing a watch? Is this like you bought the 360, now you're wearing it, or did you have watches on before?
I generally always, or like I've worn a watch for a long time. Before I had the Moto 360, I had a standard watch that I would wear. I even had I have a nicer one, for when I'm more dressed up or whatever, so it's not the same. Like I kind of have like a ratty one for just day-to-day stuff, and then kind of a little nicer one when I'm, trying to dress up. So, yeah, I mean, I've been wearing watches, and when cell phones came out, I didn't stop wearing a watch like a lot of people. Not that that's better or worse. It's just I thought it was too much work to pull the phone out of my pocket just to see what time it was. I wanted something I could just, glance at.
Yeah.
So,
no, I get that. I get that.
So that's why I still continue to wear them.
Okay. Stefan, so you've never worn a watch before, or is that something that you decided to stop doing?
It's something I decided to stop doing, and it was actually because I had a habit. I was always checking my watch all the time, and and this was, I don't know, it was around in college, and I decided just to stop wearing it, just for one thing, to stop with the habit, and more or less, I don't know, not to be so tied to time, I guess. I don't know, or not to. I don't know. It might have been a strange decision, but I don't know.
You stop telling time. You start smoking or drinking or something like that. So were you one of those people that wore the watch on the top of the wrist or on the bottom, so you went like this to find out the time?
On the top, so I was constantly going like this.
Okay. Yeah, I stopped wearing watches simply because of the fact they got really filthy after a while. You just had to sit there and clean them up. And I always had the Iron Man watch. And it, in all reality, it's probably sitting in the basement in one of my boxes, because I never really sold the watch. I mean, it was only, it's probably worth $2 now, or if anything. So it's just I decided to move on, and then smartphones came along. I think that was the other thing, was I had a phone on my belt, and I could always just look at the time that way.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But all right, well, I think we drug that down. So nobody likes the Apple Watch here.
Well, none of us are going to get it, but like I said, if I had an iPhone, I'd probably be excited about it.
So the possibility of you getting an iPhone is there. The probability, not so much.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. You never know, I guess.
Yeah.
Probably not.
All right, well, let's move on here. I had the new graphic out in the other computer, and I forgot to transfer it over. So another new segment is called Fund It, or Fund Me, excuse me, and Today we're going to be talking about, let's bring this up, Amstrip. It's a 24/7 heart rate wearable. So if you're stuck out in, or I'm sorry, if you Amstrip, let me start over. Amstrip is a heart rate wearable that sticks to you while you're training, literally. The FitLinks Amstrip is a thin, waterproof wearable that tracks your heart rate, your exercise load, your skin temperature, your posture, and more. It has a footprint no bigger than a bandage, and all information can be tracked via your smartphone or tablet, so you can get to the next level. Now, as you can see, they've been doing really good on their Indiegogo campaign, and there's still 11 days left. Is that right? I'm having a hard time. 13 days left. And I think the first price is like $119. Or no, there's a $25 level for just a t-shirt. But if you want to get the actual package, it's about $119. So my question to you guys is wearables that have stickers to them. I've never really, I don't know, maybe there's something with my skin or something like that, but I've never been able to keep something that you're supposed to have stuck to your skin, on your skin, unless it's on a patch of hair, and then it sticks to the hair, but doesn't stick to the skin. So, and then rips it off. So, Stefan, would you wear one of these things?
I don't know. I might consider it. I mean, it would be, I don't know. I'd be interested in some of the health wearables. I just haven't really looked into it that much, so I can't say.
Okay. What's your dog growling at?
I think he's getting a little bored right now, so I'll let him out.
Oh, okay.
So.
All right. Well, put yourself on mute. Okay, maybe not. He's gonna let him out. There, he's letting him out. Dog runs around the office. He's gonna get trade secrets and stuff like that. And come back and collect them. So,
yeah.
All right, Luke. What about you and sticker wearables?
I agree that I have never had much luck, pretty much with any product that's supposed to be re-stickable. Like things that stick, but then if you take them off and then try to re-stick them, it seems like they don't work. So I don't know if this thing had some sort of replaceable sticker that helped it attach so that, as it wore out, but I just would really doubt that it would hold up and
what happens
stick.
With sweat and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's like, exactly. It's like, especially like something like this, it's like, you're supposed to be working out, so I would think the sweat would break down that, and I don't know, I would question that. It seems like an armband or something that actually, wrapped around your arm or, across your chest or something, like would end up being better, but something that just kind of sticks to your skin, like I don't know. This might be one of those ones that I would be cautious on of getting it before you've seen a single review because it hasn't even come out yet. Like this would be one to wait and see on.
Well, let's take a look at this really quick. I mean, this picture right here is a great version of me, other version of me.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I look like too. So.
Yeah. So it's a great representation of what I would do with it. And of course it's right on the ab, on the first part of my six pack there. My question: I don't think I've ever had a bandage on that part, so I don't know if that's going to stick or not. I suppose I have had bandages that have stayed on my arm and stuff like that. So
yeah, I don't know. It seems like like you said, it might stick to hair for a lot of people, and so I would imagine it'll stay on pretty well. But then when you go to peel that thing off, it's going to hurt.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll go from there.
So. I mean, it's a neat idea. I'm glad they're trying it.
Yeah.
They'll learn a lot.
Yeah, they'll learn a lot, and then they'll make the next version, and they'll make the next version, and then maybe Band-Aid will come to them and say, hey, why you make our wearables, because there's going to be a day where you're going to have a Band-Aid that's a wearable that, it'll tell you when the wound is healed or when it needs to be changed or if it's getting infected or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah.
All right, well, let's move on here. And where are we? There we are. Let's move on. There we go. Okay, so as you all know, I'm going to put these back on. As you guys know, We started this show a year and a half ago called This Week in Google Glass. And it served us well. Luke and I have been doing this show for 62 episodes now. And but back in September, something started happening, and I really got concerned about it. And the one thing that happened was they just stopped. There was no news. There was no new updates. There was a lot of people were just really, really concerned of what was going on, and they just stopped. And I talked to, at that point, Luke and I had a conversation, and we said, well, where are we going to go with this? Because if Google Glass was to actually die, if they decide they're done with Google Glass, that we need a new game plan. So our game plan then changed to Wearable today. But we've been saying this since that point in time. Google Glass, in the state that it's in right now, is going to die. And even at CES, I had this one guy going, "Oh no, it's not gonna die. It's gonna stay forever. It's gonna do it." And I said, "Look,
you're gonna make me cry."
I'm sorry. Go ahead and cry if if I'll play some violin music too. So, but the whole bottom line is, I told him, look, Google Glass is on its own operating system. Android Wear is where they're going. It only makes sense to become Android Wear. So what happened was, and Luke, can you read this? Let's see if I can read this. Unless you want to read it, Luke.
I can read it.
Okay, go for it.
This is the post from Google Glass on their Google Plus page. We're graduating from Google X Labs. It's hard to believe that Glass started as little more than a scuba mask attached to a laptop. We kept on it, and when it started to come together, we began the Glass Explorer program as a kind of open beta to hear what people had to say. Explorers, we asked you to be pioneers, and you took what we started and went further than we ever could have dreamed. From the Large Hadron Collider at CERN to the hospital operating table. The grass of your backyard to the courts of Wimbledon. In fire stations, recording studios, kitchens, mountaintops, and more. Glass was in its infancy, and you took those...
Keep going.
And you took those very first steps and taught us how to walk. Well, we still have some work to do, but now we're ready to put on our big kid shoes and learn how to run. Since we first met, interest in wearables has exploded, and today it's one of the most exciting areas in technology. Glass at work has been growing, and we're seeing incredible developments with glass in the workplace. As we look to the road ahead, we realize that we've outgrown the lab, and so we're officially graduating from Google X to be our own team here at Google. We're thrilled to be moving even more from concept to reality. As part of this transition, we're closing the Explorer program so we can focus on what's coming next. January 19th will be the last day to get the Glass Explorer Edition. In the meantime, we're continuing to build for the future, and you'll start to see future versions of Glass when they're ready. For now, no peeking. Thanks to all of you for believing in us and making all of this possible. Hang tight. It's going to be an exciting ride. Good job, Jeff.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I realized I needed to hurry that up.
No, you were doing good. You were doing good. We needed to have some something behind that. Hopefully that's not a copyright song, is it? I hope I just didn't screw things up for this show.
No.
But anyway, so what? Now a lot of people say Google Glass is dead. Goodbye, Google Glass. But what does that really mean for Google Glass? Luke?
So, there's a few points that I read in that post. So this is the official, this is what Google says directly. And they said they're graduating to be their own team here at Google. So Google X is the kind of prototype area where they try out crazy moonshots like self-driving cars and internet from weather balloons. And so Glass has been in that group, and now they are becoming a part of just Google. Okay, you've got Google Search, you've got Google, Android, you've got Nest, and you've got Google Glass. And like Google Glass is actually falling under the Nest leadership. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be like that team is moving to within Google proper, as I would say. So that sounds like they're not actually killing it to me, but then they go in the next statement and said, and we're shutting it down, you can't buy these anymore. But then it says right after that, in the meantime, we're continuing to build for the future, and you'll start to see future versions of glass when they're ready. Which to me sounds like there are future versions of glass coming, and they're just not ready yet.
Yeah.
But maybe that's too
Still
literal
accepting glass
interpretation
apps.
of that.
What was that, Stefan?
I said they're still accepting glass apps too. So
Oh yeah, I mean, well, that was I really got a flood of questions when it came to this, and one of the questions I had was, will glass continue to work? And my answer is yes. I mean, there's going to be, you might have downloaded some apps or stuff like that, and they might decide to give up on their work of glass, and then those apps might go away. But the fundamental apps, the apps that are in the glass store that are on there, they'll probably stick around. Twitter will probably stick there. Facebook will probably stick there, at least for now. I mean, maybe 3, 4, 5 years down the road, probably not. But you'll probably just have the really basic stuff when it comes to glass. But for the next year, I would guess that a lot of those apps that have done some major development for glass and are in the App Store as featured apps will still be there. Now, another question that people were asking was, well, what's happening? How is that working? And is it going to get shut down? And as you said, Luke, it's not going to get shut down. In fact, they just, was it back in November, December, they signed a new contract with Intel to build the guts for Google Glass. Well, most likely the next version of Google Glass. They got Ivy Ross on there specifically to put together glass. If they were to decide to totally abandon glass, Ivy Ross would be looking for a brand new job. It's as simple as that. But the bottom line is this. Google Glass runs on its own operating system. They want to put it with Android Wear. And as you'll probably guess, Nest, Dropcam, and all these other acquisitions will start to have Android Wear on them. So it only makes sense that this device right here is going to get retooled for Android Wear. And what will happen is we might not see it looking like this because people just didn't like this look. We will definitely start seeing some sort of headgear that's got Android Wear on it that'll continue with that card system and give you a lot more, and hopefully not this bone conductivity thing, because that thing just sucked. Simple as that. So so that's it in a nutshell. Anything you guys want to add?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're kind of right in your postulation that we're probably going to move away from or move towards Android Wear. I know that they did talk about XE no longer supporting it as well, so I think you're probably correct in your assumption.
Yeah, they did say that in one of the posts. I don't know if it was in this. I think it was in one of the emails they sent out to all the explorers saying there will be no more software updates for Glass. So the software it runs now will be the software it runs until you break it by sweating on it this summer, Jeffrey Powers. And then the rest of you, whenever you break yours.
No. I'm going to be plastic wrapping this pair of glass. So it'll be like my grandma's couch. It'll be in full plastic wrap. That's it. So
yeah, I mean, if you're not gonna wear it or use it, I would suggest charge it up all the way, then shut it off and put it in a box and just keep it in mint condition, because you never know when that thing will.
Wouldn't that be the opposite? You drain the battery completely and then put it away, or do you have to charge it up?
I would think, I've heard different things of like if the battery gets too low, then it won't ever turn on again, and there can be issues like that. So I would think charge it up all the way just to make sure the battery has a good charge, and then because it'll slowly drain anyway, even turned off. But just doing some stuff to try to make it last as long as possible. Because it's like you never know how it might be. But my final thought is, I am actually kind of upset with how this whole thing went down.
Yeah.
Which might be surprising. Is like I don't think that they should have shut it down until they had a new version to show. because this just makes it look like it's completely dead to the general public. I understand, like, they don't want to, like, places always get kind of a lot of flack when they release a new product without any sort of hint to it. So people that just bought the old product are now upset. And I saw a couple of those posts where people literally bought glass a month ago and now are saying, well, now they shut it down. You know, this is horrible. I spent all this money just now. And it's like, well, if you'd been listening to us, you would have known that, like, months ago we said, you probably shouldn't buy it now. It's not really worth it at this point. Like, it's way too late in its life cycle. Like, there's either a new one coming or they're shutting. Like, they're definitely gonna get rid of this one. Like, that's what we said on the last show, is we knew this version was gonna go away shortly, sometime in 2015, and then 2 weeks later, like, it happened. But
yay, we were right.
Yeah, we made them stop selling it. So
wait a minute, no, it is not our fault. No, by no means. They are probably not even watching this show, listening to this show, or whatnot. It is not our fault. We did not kill Google Glass. No.
I said they needed Android Wear, and like 2 weeks later, Android Wear came out for it.
Okay.
And then we said
it was
dead. And then
it was Luke Wallace. Wallace. That's who did. You got it.
Apparently, I'm in charge of the Glass team
at
Google. I'm in charge of their strategic vision. But no, I really think they should have had a bigger blowout for it. I hope that the next version of it, I think it would be awesome if they just, because I think the new version, so that'd be predictions of like what the next version is going to be, because they kind of hinted they were working on it. I think it'll be something much more, affordable, like in the $200 to $300 range, like we're seeing a lot of the Android Wear devices. And I think it'd be great if they would have just said, we're going to send you the new one when it comes out. If they had put that in the email to all the explorers, people would say, or after the 19th maybe, send out an email, say, hey, thank you for purchasing Glass in its beta time, as part of an Explorer edition. We will be sending you a new version of Glass when it is ready. We do not have any date for that, but we'll let you know. And like that kind of thing, everybody would have freaked out. And they have actually done that before. They did that with the Nexus Q, which never went anywhere. It's what led to eventually the Chromecast. So it didn't go anywhere, right? They show this Nexus Q, this little ball that basically does what a Chromecast does today. Yeah. And they said it'll be $300, and we're opening up pre-orders. We don't have them ready, but we're going to do pre-orders. And several people I knew pre-ordered this Nexus Q for $300 for some reason.
Did you?
No, I didn't, because I was at I/O, so I had one. Like, they gave me one. We used it at work a couple of times. Never. It's sitting in my closet. So they did this pre-order program, and then what happened was they said, we didn't get enough interest. We don't think people are going to buy this thing. But we already made them up, and we made up enough for all the pre-orders. So we're just going to give them to you for free, even though you didn't have to pay any money. Like, you just pre-ordered by saying, I want to buy one. I will pay you when they're ready. And you got on some list, and then they said, yeah, we're going to close that down. So they closed that down, and then they sent out an email saying, we're just going to send it to you for free, because we would hate for you to have to pay $300 when we're not even going to sell this thing, and who knows if we're going to support it for very long. So we're just going to send it to you for free. So people got them for free and played with them for a few months, and they killed them off eventually.
There you go. So that does bring to the next question, and a lot of people have been asking me this question. Will I get another pair of Google Glass? I think they'll just send you this. Okay, we've got it. It's cardboard. That this is the next pair of Google Glass right here. No,
buy a watch.
Buy a watch. Buy the watch.
Buy a watch. It's so much cheaper, and it's almost the same. Like, it has all the good functionality from Glass, minus the picture taking. Other than that, it has everything. But
anyway, the question, and I'll start with you, Stefan. Do you think that Google will actually decide to just send us whatever the next version of I'm calling it Android Wear Glass, basically?
Well, I sure as hell hope so, but I'm not really, I don't know. I'm not getting my hopes up on it.
Especially with you guys. I mean, you guys bought frames, and you've got those are more than just Google Glass. They are functional. I gotta see with these type glasses, and it's not something that you're just gonna end up throwing in the drawer simply because of the fact that Google Glass isn't working anymore.
Well, the frames I got I got later. It was like I was a late entry to the Glass Explorer program, and the frames did come with it.
Okay.
So, and they're not prescription, so I'm not wearing
Oh,
prescription lenses.
well, never mind. Luke, you're as blind as a bat. What?
I am not as blind as a bat.
Oh, I am. So
Yeah, my vision's not too bad, but these are prescription. And yes, I had to pay $225 for the frames, which is actually kind of on the cheaper side. I just bought new frames this weekend, and they were close to $500 before my insurance discount. So $225 is not bad, but then I had to spend $300 for the lenses, which is pretty typical.
Yeah.
So these are expensive, and I don't know what I'm gonna do because I think I'm gonna keep wearing them because like we've been saying, they do still work. I do still get notifications on them. They're still really good for that. It's nice to be able to take pictures, so I will continue to use them for a little while.
I would hope that they find a way to whatever the next version is to actually have it so it does attach to those same frames.
That would be really cool, or some sort of conversion kit, even if it was a way to you had to buy like a $20 piece to make it fit on these frames. I would probably do that just to not have to buy yet another pair of special frames. Because I don't know if I would.
What about getting a bow extension so you could take the glass off and just wear them like regular glasses?
I would love to see that.
Okay.
I may work on that myself a little bit more now that it's going to become the only way I can use these frames. Maybe not for the next 6 months, but after about 6 months, these things, who knows? I mean, these are not my first pair of glass either. I've gone through them, and they've usually broken from software.
Yeah.
And so if these break, I think they may still be under warranty for a little while, but I don't remember when the warranty.
The warranty is 1 year. So
1 year from the date you got them.
Well, no, the 1 year, it's technically 1 year from up until the last pair that I got. It was 1 year from the new pair because I sweat on them and they just died. That was simply what it was for me. I've gone through 6 pairs of Google Glass, and the last one, I can't remember the last time they died on me. But the reality is, summer's coming up very soon, and I know if I take them out and I perspire, I might just have a dead pair of Google Glass. Yeah. So it really makes me wonder whether I should keep them or not. If they're worth keeping for 20 years down the road when they're worth more than $1,500, possibly. Because you never know. I mean, 20 years they could become we could be seeing them on Pawn Stars, or they could be sitting there going, nah, there's so many out there, it's not even worth $5.
Yeah,
I'm gonna wear mine until I die.
How much does an Apple Newton go for now?
Well, yeah, but you also got to remember this is not an Apple product. This is a Google product, and let me ask you this question: how many antique Google products do we have out there?
The Nexus Q. that's about it.
The Newton was pretty cool.
Yeah, the iPhone keeps its price. Android phones do not, and that's the sad fact in life. And I see these having a price in about 20 years. But it's probably not going to be thousands. Somebody's not going to pull it out of a storage locker and go, "Oh, these are Google Glass. These are worth thousands of dollars." No, they'll probably go, "Oh, it's Google Glass," and then toss them off to the side, or skeet shoot them or something like that. So
yeah. Well, the original iPhone doesn't go for much these days either.
Yeah.
Now, again, maybe in 20 years, maybe then it'd be worth something. But
it's like the iPod. That's actually the better thing to talk about, because the iPod they canceled, or they stopped doing the iPod this year. What happened? eBay, you can't find an original iPod for $50. It's all lots of money. You want an old first generation iPod? Yeah, it's going to cost you $400 or $500. I don't know what they're going for right now, but lots of people made money off of those iPods after Apple discontinued them. So, anyway, You know, that's we just beat a dead horse with a dead horse. So the bottom line is Google Glass is not dead. Well, Google Glass is dead. Android Wear Glass is coming. I'm just going to say it right now. Android Wear Glass, which is why I got the domain wearglass.com. Simple as that. Because I think that's what it's going to be called. AW Glass or Android Wear Glass. Glass is still going to be there, but because I think they have some sort of marking on them of some sort. So, going from one company that's getting rid of glasses to another company that's adding glasses. The big news today, of course, Windows 10, all free for everybody with Windows 7 or Windows 8, which is great. Don't get me wrong, but they've also got this new little thing called Project Hololens. It's for those of you who have been under a rock or really don't care too much, and if that's the case, why are you watching this show? Basically, Birdie's watching the show?
No, they're watching it for Birdie.
Oh, they're watching it for Birdie. Okay, that's a good reason why I saw. But anyway, Project HoloLens is a holographic pair of glasses. So the idea is this. You'll be walking around your room, and you'll go, I want to see what's on TV tonight. Boop. Oh, no, there's nothing. What about Netflix? Flip. Oh, yeah, The Interview is on Netflix now. No, I don't want to see that. Flip. What's on Hulu? Flip. Oh, yeah, I forgot to watch Family Guy last night. Boom, I'm watching Family Guy with of course, these glasses on. And, of course, there's other things that they can do. Like, for instance, they showed this guy sitting at a table, and all of a sudden, Minecraft buildings and stuff like that show up, which was really cool.
That looks cool.
And definitely starts making you think of how gaming could actually change with these with the HoloLens. Or you'll have specific areas, like you walk in the living room and next to your TV might be your mute button, where you just go like this and you mute the TV or something like that. And then of course it's a shared experience, so you see what your partner sees, what your kids see, whoever's wearing the HoloLens. So it's a very I heard Dr. Michio Kaku speak a few years ago, and it's very, very much a Michio Kaku type projection. But the question that I have for you guys is, do you guys see, and we'll start with Luke, do you guys see this actually coming to fruition within the next year, or is this still another 10-year out product?
I would say it's closer to the 1 year than the 10 years, just because the prototype looks a lot more finalized. I don't think they made any announcements about pricing, how much it would actually cost for this thing. So that would be my kind of concern there on, like, they'll end up announcing it and then they'll say, yeah, and it's $2,500. And then all of a sudden people say, well, I guess I'll wait 10 years because I'm not gonna buy it if it's that expensive. But,
do we have a pricing on the Oculus, by the way?
I don't think so. Don't they? Do you pay for the dev kits?
Yeah, you have to pay for the dev kit.
Aren't they like? Are they like $500? I forget what the
yeah, something like that.
I can look that up real quick. But anyway, I would say it's probably closer to 1 year away. And so if they're treating it like a gaming console, they always show those things a year before they're ready. You always see them, and then the following year they say, okay, now it's actually ready to come out. Here's the software that's going to come with it at launch. Here's what you'll be able to do with it. And so the year before is always just kind of the concept videos. And that's what this feels like right now, is this is almost a new game console coming out. And this is just the big announcement saying, we're doing HoloLens, everybody. And so a year from now, they'll say, okay, seriously, it's ready because we've had devs working on it for the past year, so there's actually going to be some software instead of all this prototype smoke and mirrors stuff that we've built for this release demo.
Yeah.
Now we have some real software. Here's the actual software. Here's how much it'll cost. Here's the day it's coming out. There's Best Buy, and you'll be able to buy it at GameStop or whatever. And here's how it integrates with your Xbox and all this stuff. So it's like, I would say we're probably at least a year away from it coming out because there's, I would guess, virtually no software for this thing. They're showing a few little demos of this Mars demo where you video conference on Mars for some
Yeah.
reason, because you're talking about Mars so much, which is great because we all talk about Mars all the time. But I would say it's probably a year from now at CES they may do some announcement about the actual software, or they might wait till E3 and say this is kind of tied into our gaming,
Yeah,
division.
that's a good question. Is where is it going to really be placed? Is it going to be placed as a business tool? Is it going to be placed as a gaming tool? Is it going to be placed as an entertainment tool? Where is it going to be attached to an Xbox? Is it going to be, because we talked about the Oculus Rift, but in all reality, the Oculus Rift is just two lenses in a box. This is going to be two lenses, or lenses in a box, plus a whole bunch of sensors that's figuring out where your hands are going and what they're doing to create the gestures, so you can expand out and shrink down and press buttons and stuff like that. So,
And
go ahead, Stefan.
I was going to say, I think Microsoft is really kind of pushing. I mean, I think they're pushing to compete with some of the other players for augmented reality devices. I mean, right, Epson has also kind of a pair of glasses that offers a little more powerful features than maybe Glass might, and I think they're just trying to get into the ring. And I mean, what I've seen of the HoloLens looks awesome, and I mean, it'd be nice to see that, see them take it a step further, and I think that they're really pushing for it. Like I said, I think there's a lot of competition for it right now.
Okay.
And going
Go
back
ahead.
to what I was saying about the year, remember Google Glass when they showed it at Google I/O? It was this concept video, and they just kind of talked about what their idea was for it, and then it was a whole year later before they actually had something to show. Like, here's what the interface actually looks like. Like these are probably a lot of prototype interfaces.
True.
Not so much that it's not using the technology, it's just these are very much demos. Like, these aren't fully fleshed out, user experiences. It's kind of like, well, we'll drop you into the middle of, after you've gone through all the menus and selected what you want to do. Okay, now you're sitting on Mars. Okay, so here you are just sitting on Mars, and you can see other people and point at things and do stuff. And it's like, well, there's a lot that you have to do before you,
Yeah.
get to that
It's
point.
still in its infancy, yeah.
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 Well, actually, I was also, not only was I at CES, I was also at the North American International Car Show, which is or Auto Show, which is another reason why we haven't had a show in a few weeks. And Ford debuted this little car right here, and this is called the GT 350. Or no, that's the Mustang. Let me get the right one here. They introduced the GT. That's where I got messed up, was because they both say GT on there. This. And I'll get to the car in a second here. There it is. This is the Ford GT, and it's their third generation GT, but it will not be out until next year. So technically, that this is a concept car. Here's some close-up pictures that I took while at the auto show. It's got the EcoBoost engine in it, and it seats two, and it goes super fast, and blah 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 blah. But the whole point is that this car is not out yet. It'll take about a year for them to actually put it all together. So the same thing when it comes to that, and that's technically wearable technically if you think about it. But when it comes to this HoloLens, I think we're going to get it. But the real question, and I'll pose this to you, Stefan, is: do you think that everything that was in this video is going to be what we see, or we're going to have like a what was the Game Boy 3D look to everything like that?
Well, I mean, I still think Microsoft can deliver on it. I mean, there's some products that I've been really impressed with. Like, although some people may, knock it, but I think the Kinect, was a pretty good product for, it does a pretty good job of, of tracking and that sort of thing. But I think Microsoft has. I'm not really a big Microsoft fan, and I sound like a fanboy, but I think that the HoloLens I mean, it looks promising, at least what I've seen.
Okay. So that the next question then is this going to be a self-sufficient pair of glasses? Are you going to be able to walk outside and still continue that, or do you think that it has to be attached to a sensor-filled home?
Well, currently the way it's been designed, it's not something that you can wear for a long period of time either. It's not like
Oh yeah.
glass. Um, so, I mean, they may take it to that point, but I don't think in its current stages that it would be, it would be something that you'd wear around all the time. And I've heard it's pretty
Well,
uncomfortable
no,
to
no.
wear.
I'm not talking about wearing around all the time. What I'm talking about
Yeah.
is you have the HoloLens set up so it'll actually work in the living room.
Okay.
But with because it might hook up to the Xbox One and the Connect on the Xbox One, and that's the sensor that it uses. But if you take it outside, you can't take it outside, and there's all those little options, or you can't take it down the street and do that because of sensors. Are the sensors in the glass, or are they in the room that create this whole back and forth conversation?
Yeah, so you're saying well, I mean, probably having a self-contained unit down the road is probably more, I mean, you can take it wherever you want. Seems more beneficial, but
Luke, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think everything is in there. They describe it like it's the whole computer is in this headset, and so everything runs in there, including the sensors, which makes me wonder how well the hand gestures work, and maybe that's why they're always having to reach way out in front of them, because the sensors can, they can't see down at their sides yet or ever.
Yeah.
And so I would kind of wonder, like, how intuitive it'll actually be, and I would say I don't think it'll look quite like they show in the video.
Yeah.
I think that's an optimistic way of doing it. I think it's a very hard problem. I don't. I'll answer your point. Answer your question kind of no and yes. Like, no, you won't need a room filled with sensors, but I think you will need a room, because I think it'll need something to help be the point of reference to know where to show you things. Because if you're like let's say out on the beach, you wouldn't be able to do this thing, because it would be like, I have no idea if
Getting
you're
your
moving forward or
location
backward or
space.
it's like, I think it would need some frames of reference. So I think you'll have to be inside somewhere.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
For that. But yeah, I don't think it'll look quite as good as they're imagining. I mean, which is fine. I mean, they have to have this vision. My other big complaint is that it's not actually holograms. They keep saying the word hologram and holographic processing unit, and it's like, it's not holograms. It's augmented reality.
Yeah.
Did you ever? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. Did you ever see the movie Her? There was. Okay, it kind of takes place in the near future, and there's a part where there's a holographic display in his living room, and he's playing a game in his living room, just using his hands and moving around. I think that's the future over wearing a headset, anyway. So, especially for, an entertainment center in your living space. So.
Yeah. I think that it will actually be able to be used outside in limited capacity. You're absolutely right. You'll definitely need to set up a room. Like, for instance, if I'm in this room, I put on the HoloLens, I'll probably have to go through some configuration system where I have to hold my head steady for about 10, 15 seconds while it maps out the room. But I have, like, for instance, last year I reviewed a thing called Papago, which is a camera a dashboard camera that also keeps you, and of course cars are also adding this, where it'll warn you if you start straying off the lines, or if the road starts to bend, because it's looking for specifics out there. And I think the HoloLens will do the same thing. So if you're driving, let's say you're a motorcycle, and you got a helmet with HoloLens technology inside the helmet, it would then let you know your location with some sort of GPS in there. It would let you know your speed. It would tell you the time. And of course, if you start veering off the road or if your exit's coming up or something like that, it'll be able to warn you and do stuff like that. But I don't think you'll be able to do something like play a game of Minecraft in whatever you call it, augmented reality outside on the beach and go from there. So.
Yeah.
So
Agreed. We looked it up, or I looked it up real quick. The new development kit 2 for Oculus is $350.
Yeah.
But like you said, that's really just a display. Like all the computing is done on a computer somewhere. That's not the full computing stuff.
Yeah.
The other point of price reference that I would have is Project Tango that Google has recently done some dev kit stuff for. It could be like Glass where they're charging more than the hardware cost because of all the research time they've put into it.
Yeah.
But that dev kit is $1,024, and it has sensors in it for depth sensing and computer vision and stuff. And so it's closer to the like the HoloLens is closer to a Project Tango type device with a display and a bunch of sensors built into it. And so I'm thinking it's like it's probably going to be more in the $1,000 range than it is in the $300 range. But who knows what might happen in the next year.
Yeah. You bring up a good question. Is it going to be a computer on your head, or is it going to be just like Glass, where it's going to Bluetooth into a device like a smartphone or another computer, which will then become the processor, and this is just projecting pictures or cards or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it's a good question. The way they make it sound is everything is contained within that device. I mean, I was reading one article and it talked about how it had fans in it that spun to try to keep the processor cool and stuff, and they do things like that. So it's like they imply that it's kind of all based on your head, which just seems like it's going to need a lot of processing power to.
Yeah.
Because augmented reality is even different than virtual reality because you can see the real world through there, and the real world has a really high refresh rate. So if your augmented reality has a 60 frames a second, it's like, yeah, but when you overlay that, as soon as you start moving your head, you're going to immediately see the lag there.
They definitely will need a deinterlace filter, that's for sure. So.
Yeah. So I think they got to be like, I'm kind of wondering because if this thing comes out and it's like, oh yeah, 60 frames a second, it's like I don't know if that'll be good enough for to really feel like the videos portray that it will feel like, where it'll be like, oh wow, it's like right there, like a hologram, even though it's not a hologram.
Well, even with Google Glass, if you're watching a video and you do this really quick, you've done that
see
before,
the rainbows,
right? You see the rainbows. That's as simple as that. And so yeah, you're absolutely right. It like I said, it's going to be like the Game Boy. What was that called? The headset. The Virtual Boy. Yeah, that was it. The red headset where you got to play tennis in a 3D frame environment and go from there. So, all right. Well, this is all interesting stuff, and I think we could go on for a lot longer in this talking about this HoloLens. So, but I just really want to. Do you think that this is going to be Microsoft's answer to Google Glass, or do you think that Microsoft's still got something up their sleeve when it comes to an augmented reality wearable technology?
I think this is their attempt at it. I think they might do a watch or something that integrates with their Windows phone if they continue to support that. So
they will. I mean, they just got rid of RT, so they can go straight up Windows.
Yeah. So I think they're gonna. I think they may do some other wearable for notifications, like the Apple Watch and Android Wear, those kind of things. But I don't think that. I think this is their Google Glass competitor.
Okay, Stefan.
Well, I don't know, and I guess it maybe is Microsoft trying to do a Glass competitor, but I don't know. I mean, the headset itself is not something that, like I said before, it's not something you can wear around all the time, and it's not. I don't know. I see Google Glass more as kind of like a personal assistant kind of thing. although they may take it farther, this may just be a starting point. But
Yeah.
um, I don't necessarily see the HoloLens fulfilling some of those those requirements. So
Okay. Well, keep in mind, I mean, this is whether they're showed as the
yeah,
headset unit will change, and I bet you it'll
obviously,
even change by time they actually come out with the betas or whatever they end
true.
up doing. So,
Yeah,
but even 5 years down the road, it'll eventually be a pair of glasses that nobody will be able to detect if what it's doing and how it's doing it, and we might even come into a year where we have a pair of glasses that not only has the Android Wear technology in it, but also has Microsoft technology in it, and it just switches back and forth between the two, and you just put in a chip, and that'll change the functionality of whatever pair of glasses you own, if you want to wear a pair of glasses, and that's where it really boils down to: do you really want to have glasses on your face or not? And go from there. So. All right. Well, that does it for the show. It's a little bit extra longer show because we had a lot of content here. One more thing for you guys. If you're stuck out in the snowy weather, I know the East Coast is getting bombarded with snow. I have a suggestion for you. If you own any type of wearable, wear it. If you got Google Glass, wear it. If you've got a watch, wear it. And the reason why is you may never know how it can actually be used and how it could actually possibly save you. Think of it this way. You're shoveling snow. That can get really stressful. That can get really tiring, especially when you're talking about 12 inches of snow or more. If somebody's monitoring your vitals while you're shoveling and you're getting overexerted, they can stop you and get you back in. If hyperthermia starts to set in, somebody could watch it. Your phone could start alarming you on that, and you could get in and kind of warm up and then get ready for the next blast. But the whole point is that if you wear a wearable, it's got sensors in it, and those sensors can actually help in a lot of different things. Now, I suppose there could even be a case where somebody could get lost in the middle of a snowstorm and use these sensors to help get tracked and found. Possible. Probability is low there, of course. But, these are just some of the things that you think about when it comes to wearing it when you're out in a dangerous situation like that. So that's my suggestion to you. Wear your wearable. Get it hooked up to your phone. Have your loved ones watching your phone or your tablet. And if they see that you're overexerting from doing the shoveling or whatever, then they can warn you. You can get in the house. You can be safe and go from there. So let everybody. It's all about communication and being safe out there. So you guys on the East Coast, you stay safe. West Coast, you guys are in the sun, so I'm not going to talk about that. So, Stefan, are you on the East Coast or where are you?
I'm in Michigan,
Oh,
so
you're okay. So you're going to get some of that, but not enough. I mean, we got inch, I think it was. So luckily, I don't have to worry about that. And of course, you're going to get like 5 feet of snow, aren't you, Luke?
If by feet you mean thousandths of an inch, yes, 5 feet. Because we're hitting 70 these days, so at least for the next couple of days.
That's rough.
Yeah.
But it'll start cooling down a little bit at the end of the week. So
yeah, it'll get to 69 eventually.
Oh God.
So
I feel for you.
all right, well, Luke, where can people go to find you?
So, my name's Luke Wallace. You can find me on Twitter at Luke Luca. That's LukeLuca. And on Google Plus at Plus Luke Wallace. Or for this show, Luke at wearabletoday.com. Or for Birdie at wearabletoday.com. That's BIRDIE at wearabletoday.com.
Has Birdie gotten any emails yet?
My mom
Okay.
emailed her.
Sweet. Well, that's good. I mean,
That way she didn't have to email me. She could email directly to Birdie. So
maybe she could now start making plans for your birthday with Birdie. So
surprise party. Yeah, that sounds possible.
Stuff like that. So, all right, Stefan, where can people find you?
Well, I could be reached at Daily Invention. My Twitter handle is Daily Invention, and Stefan at dailyinvention.com is my email. I wish I had my information up right now. I'm sorry about that, but
That's okay. All right, cool. And of course, you can find me over at Geekazine. Well, let me put my credentials up here. Boo! Like that. Geekazine, think magazine, put in the geek. Geekazine.com. Twitter handle is Geekazine. Birdie's flying off the handle, so we got to hurry up with this. It's an extra long episode, but we had a lot of good content in here, and I hope you really enjoyed it. This was episode number 62 of Wearable Today. I got to keep saying Wearable Today. I so badly want to say This Week in Google Glass. That's how much I really wanted Google Glass to stick around, but, you know, it happens. So thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for listening. You guys have a great... We'll be back next week. We're going to get back in the regular schedule. I don't have anything right now until South by Southwest, so we've got another good 6 weeks before the next one. So thanks, Stefan, for coming in and being part of the show.
Thanks for allowing me on the show. It's good to be part.
Not a problem. Thanks a lot, Luke, for coming. We'll see you next week.
Always a pleasure. Yep.
All right, there you go. You guys take care. Be safe out there, and we'll see you next week on another episode of Wearable Today. Take care. Geek out.